Hi boys and girls, we're going to be starting a new chapter. We're going to be doing chapter 15, which is all about shapes. This is one of my favorite chapters. I'm kind of sad that we're not going to get to do some of the fun activities that we usually do in the classroom, but I have some fun games and activities planned that we'll get to do while we work on this chapter together, okay? So we're going to start with lesson 15-1. You need to find page 859 in your math books. And on today's lesson, you guys are going to work on naming shapes by counting their number of sides and vertices, okay? So if we look at the solve and share, it asks us to draw some closed plane shapes that have 3 vertices. Write the name for one of your shapes. Is this name correct for all of the shapes you made? So I want you to come up here and circle 3 vertices for me. And let's talk about what vertices are. Okay, vertices are corner points where 2 sides of a polygon meet. So vertices is a fancy word for corners. Okay, the corners of a shape. We also need to review what a closed plane shape is. So a closed plane shape would be a flat shape with edges or sides that connect. So this shape is not open. Okay, it has to be a closed shape. So we need to think of a shape that has 3 vertices, which means 3 corners, okay? So I'm going to draw what I think of when I think of a shape that has 3 vertices. So I'm going to switch colors here, and I'm going to put a dot where the vertices would be. These blue dots are the vertices, or corners, and there are 3 of them, okay? Now I could draw a shape that looks like this. This shape also has 3 vertices. Okay, I could also draw a shape that looks something like this. So that also has 3 vertices. Okay, so if I look at this shape here, I would say that this shape's name is a triangle. And our question up here asks us, is this name correct for all of the shapes we made? Yes, we would answer yes, because all of these shapes are triangles, correct? A triangle just is a closed shape that has 3 sides. They all look different, but they all have 3 sides and 3 vertices. All right, let's turn our page. And I want you to look up here at the top. So today we're going to be naming shapes. We're going to be working with triangles, which have 3 sides and 3 vertices. Quadrilaterals, this is a big fancy word for a shape that has 4 sides and 4 vertices. Pentagons have 5 sides and 5 vertices. And a hexagon has 6 sides or 6 vertices. Okay, you'll see down here they give you some examples. These are not triangles because they don't have 3 sides. This one has 3 sides, but it's opened, okay? So it's not closed, so that cannot be a triangle. We have to have a closed shape, okay? Let's look over here at pentagons again. When I think of a pentagon, I usually think of something like this. But this shape right here also has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it also has 5 vertices or corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anything that has 5 sides and 5 vertices would be a pentagon. So you're going to want to probably come back and refer to this chart up here when you're doing your lesson today if you need some help, okay? All right, so let's look at the guided practice. They want you to match each shape to its name. So this first one has 4 vertices or 4 sides, so it's called a quadrilateral. If we count the vertices on this shape, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and we can look back up here. A shape that has 6 sides or 6 vertices is called a hexagon. So you will draw a line to hexagon. You'll do the same thing for the next 2 shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. And this one has 1, 2, 3. So you'll need to draw a line to match those. Okay? Let's look at number 2 and number 3. We're going to tell how many sides and vertices each shape has, and then we're going to name the shape. So I like to, when I count vertices, I like to just put dots in my corners. So I have 4 vertices. And then when I count my sides, sometimes I like to just make a little tick mark, so I know that I've already counted that side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if I can't remember what we call a shape that has 4 sides and 4 vertices, you can come back up here and look. And that would be a quadrilateral. I want you to practice spelling them correctly since they're up here at the top of your paper, okay? So quadrilateral. All right, let's look at number 3. I'm going to count my vertices first. I have 5 vertices, and if I count my sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. A shape that has 5 sides, 5 vertices is called a pentagon. Now I want you to notice something, okay? The number of sides and the number of vertices for both of my shapes here are the same, okay? And that's always going to be true for a shape, okay? The number of sides is always going to be the same as the number of vertices. All right. So if we look at your next page here, you're going to do some matching from the shape to its name again. On 6, 7, and 8, you're going to draw the shape. Okay, so if we're kind of working backwards, if we know a quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 vertices, so you can draw any shape that has 4 sides and 4 vertices. It might look like a square, or you could draw something that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as it's a closed shape that has 4 sides and 4 vertices. Okay, you're going to do the same thing for hexagon and triangle. Number 9 says Bianca drew a triangle and a pentagon. How many sides and vertices did she draw in all? Then it wants you to draw the shape. So I would start by drawing your shapes first. So she had a triangle and a pentagon. Pentagon has 5 sides. Okay, so to count the vertices, I'm going to use a different color here so I can put dots for each of my vertices. The triangle has 3, the pentagon has 5. Since the problem says in all, we want to add 3 plus 5. And that will give you your answer for sides and vertices, because remember, this number is always going to match. Okay. All right, you can always push pause, remember, when you're watching the videos here if you need to catch up, okay? All right, so I want to look at number 10. It says Marcos has 4 toothpicks. He places them as shown. What shape can Marco make if he adds 1 more toothpick? So if he were to add a toothpick, he would be putting it right here. So to figure out what shape that is, you need to count the number of sides and vertices and then tell me the name of the shape on the line, okay? All right, number 11, you just have to connect the dots to make the shapes and name the shapes. Remember, you can go back to this page if you can't remember how to spell or if you can't remember which shape it is. Okay, this is going to be a good place to look if you need some help on your assignment today, okay? All right. Number 12 says, Randall said a square is a quadrilateral. Susan said a square is a square, so it's not a quadrilateral. Who is correct? Okay, well, what do we know about a quadrilateral? We know that a quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 vertices. And I know that a square, if I draw a square, that looks like it has 4 sides and 4 vertices. Okay, so would a square also be called, could it also be called a quadrilateral since it has 4 sides and 4 vertices? Yes. Okay, so a square is just an example of a quadrilateral. So we could write who is correct, Randall, because a square is a quadrilateral. And we know this because it has 4 sides and 4 vertices. Okay, so usually when we see a shape like this, we would say it's a square, and that is correct. But it can also be called a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides and 4 vertices. So if you need to pause the video to get this sentence copied down, you can. And then we're going to take a look at 13. It just wants to know which one is not a hexagon. So you need to be thinking about, what do you know about a hexagon? How many sides does a hexagon have? How many vertices does a hexagon have? Whichever one doesn't match its definition, it would not be a hexagon. Okay? All right, so that is going to be your assignment, number 1 through 13, and we did a couple of those already together, okay? So just remember, if you need some help on today's assignment, this is a great place to look. Triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, and hexagons, okay? I'm going to turn my paper back over and write numbers 1 through 13 as your assignment today, and then please make sure you post it to your Seesaw journal, okay?